Hello and welcome to today's video. Today I'm reviewing another pen from Andhand. When I reviewed the Andhand method, I said there was another one coming, and it is the Aspect fountain pen here today. We can talk about the parts and features, do a writing sample, pros and cons, all that good stuff. This is how the pen comes packaged. You can see Andhand slate grey here, bit of information about it all, some ideas, all that kind of stuff. Nice, simple, clean packaging. You open that up and then you have the pen sitting in here. Nice sort of clean, once again, nice clean packaging. It says tools for the modern desk. Andhand is a UK based company, all designed and assembled in the UK. The pens are made in China and they use some German components like the nib and the converter, all that kind of thing. Andhand make a range of desk accessories and really having a really strong focus on pens recently, which is wonderful. The information here in the little booklet is really simple, but gives good ideas about cleaning and inks to avoid and all those kinds of things, which is really useful because firstly, you're not overwhelmed with information. But sometimes, particularly if you're giving this as a gift to someone and they may not know everything about fountain pens, it's really nice to get some of that sort of basic core information. So this is the Aspect fountain pen from Andhand, and I've been using this for a few weeks now, and I have to say, I really quite like it. Okay, let's talk about parts and features. Top of the pen, little disc, silver disc in there that says Andhand. And then the entire body of the pen is faceted and it's straight all the way down. You've really got to tighten it right down to get the facets to line up. And I'm good with that because it feels very secure. There's a slight little step in there. It's not a step, but more like a little groove, which where the cap and the barrel meet. And then once again, it continues along. A little step down with some threads and then a little posting knob on the end there and a flat end. So it's quite a minimalist pen. It's made of an anodized aluminium. And this, as I said, is the slate grey. There's a couple of different versions of it, but it's this nice sort of satin sort of anodization. It's really quite nice. Even the anodization of the disc and the posting knob are good. So it is a screw cap pen, and it comes off in about 3 turns. So that's 3 complete turns, which is a lot. But also it twists to post, and it does that in about 3 1/3 complete turns. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later. Once you have uncapped the pen, you see there is a little step down and then onto those capping threads, and then a very slim section that sort of tapers and flares ever so slightly, and then we get the number 5 Schmidt nib. Now I have this in an extra fine. It is also available in extra fine, medium, and broad. It is a anodized aluminium section, and it is quite narrow, but it's a nice sort of lightweight pen, so you're not feeling like you're pinching too much to sort of hold it steady. You unscrew the barrel to reveal the converter, and this is a Schmidt branded converter. You can see the bevel on the end there where it does actually meet. Means that we get sort of a nice sort of snug fit, and it beautifully sort of seamless into there. It's the precision engineering of the Andhand pens is done to minute details, and I really appreciate that. I think it's beautiful. It's details like that seamless little sort of step because of that double beveled end here that make this pen really a joy to use and to look at and enjoy, Okay, the other thing is it's standard international, obviously Schmidt converter. So you've got a Schmidt nib there, you've got a Schmidt converter, so it's all kind of going to, well, hopefully work quite nicely. Okay, let's do a size comparison. Now I've got a couple of pens I wanted to show it alongside. Firstly, there is the Andhand method. So you can see that the method and the Aspect are basically the same length. Have a standard Lamy Safari here as well, so to put it into context, so it's not a big pen. It is definitely on the smaller side. And then I have a Diplomat Viper, which I just wanted to show because I really love that pen, which is about the same length as the Lamy Safari. And I think that these two pens, the Aspect and the Viper, sort of share a place in the market for that sort of like good everyday sort of easy carry, nothing sort of too fancy, but hopefully a very nice writing experience. Uncapped, the Safari and the Viper are slightly longer, but they're sort of traditionally sort of full-size pens, whereas the Aspect and the Method from Andhand are both slightly smaller. Both can be used unposted, but you can definitely see by the fact that it's got those posting threads that the intention, of course, is to post this pen. You can see when it's posted, it actually comes in a pretty decent length here. It's slightly longer than the Method, and it's not that far off a posted Lamy Safari. So it's a nice sort of length there. So what are the specific dimensions of the Aspect from Andhand? Well, it's 125 millimeters when it is capped. Uncapped, it's 117. So as I said, you can write with this quite comfortably when it is uncapped and unposted, sorry. But it is probably a little on the smaller side, but the convenience of that is probably, a nice thing to sort of take into account. And then when it's posted, it's 161, so it's a good length. There's no sort of, annoying step downs or anything. It's a very comfortable pen. I tend to find myself holding it further back onto the threads, everything. They're not sharp threads. You can definitely feel them, but they're not sharp. They actually give it a rather nice grip and improve that length away from the page. The number 5 nib is slightly on the smaller side, especially in today's market. For these style pens, these sort of like what I'm going to refer to as bag or purse carry pens, this is not a bad size. But holding it slightly further back just makes the balance really nice and allows for, sort of a nice comfortable grip. Around the middle of that section is 8 millimeters, so it is rather slim, and the widest point of the pen is about 12 millimeters. The entire pen only weighs 20 grams. It's anodized aluminium, so there's 16 in the body, 14 in the body, sorry, and 6 in the cap. So you're not putting the balance off at all. It's actually quite a comfortable pen to write with, as I said, particularly if I hold it slightly further back there. Okay, let's do a writing sample with the Andhand Aspect. This is, as I said, in the slate grey. This has a number 5 Schmidt extra fine nib. The ink I have in this today is an interesting one. It is from the brand Endless, which is an Indian-based company. This is from their Alchemy ink line, and this is Mocha Mousse Delight. Mocha Mousse being the 2025 Pantone color of the year. So this pen writes really nicely. It's consistent. It's relatively wet. It's quite smooth. It's an extra fine, so it's not going to have that same sort of buttery smoothness, perhaps, as say like a medium or a broad. But it definitely is a very pleasant writer and a nice sort of crisp extra fine. It's not the finest extra fine, but it is a German extra fine. Don't think of the Japanese extra fine. Quick writing. Like there's no, a little skip there. That might have been me lining up on the page because I've not noticed that at all. No issues whatsoever. It's still writing on the wetter side for that. It's very good. Reverse writing, not really possible. That's okay. And while it's not a flex nib and it is an extra fine, by applying a gentle amount of pressure, you can go from a fairly standard extra fine line to something that's probably closer to, a medium-ish kind of line and also quite wet. So Schmidt are doing good things with their nibs. Andhand are making precision pens that use them. This one writes beautifully. I've enjoyed writing with it. No real hard starts, no skipping, no ink starvation, no drying out. Also, the seal on this cap is fantastic. So yes, lots and lots to like here. So the important question is, what does this pen cost? Now remember, Andhand is a relatively small, newish company. They've only been around since 2021, and they are based in the UK. And while the pens are made in China, because that's where the manufacturing is, they are designed in the UK to exacting dimensions and precision engineering, all of that kind of stuff, and assembled in the UK and from a business in the UK. So this pen retails for £90, roughly, depending on your conversion, 105-ish US, 155-ish Australian. So not an inexpensive pen for an anodized aluminium pen with a steel nib and cartridge converter, but the scale of the company and what they're doing, I think it's actually a really nice price point, because this pen is going to appeal to a certain market. As I said, it's that purse or bag carry kind of pen. It is perfectly usable in any office situation or, professional situation. It's a nice, elegant design. There's a lot going for it, but it's not an inexpensive pen for what you're getting, but it is a quality pen for what you're getting. Okay, pros and cons. The only cons I really have, firstly, is that is a very slim section. It's not going to be for everyone. I know a lot of people love slim sections, and that's going to be one of my pros as well here. But for me, what I just sort of feel is that it makes the balance, if you hold it on that grip, it makes the balance feel a little bit weird. It's not off, like it's not back weighted or anything. It just feels like very skinny in your hand. The only other thing I think about this pen is the amount of turns it takes. So 3 to post it, or 3 to cap it, and a little over 3 to post it. The idea of a pen like this being like bag carry or pocket carry or anything like that is that it should be relatively convenient. And that's where the I think the true EDC nature of the Method fountain pen comes into its own. As a snap cap, it's very convenient, quick to use, and a beautiful snap as well. Having 3 turns, like they are easy turns, but it's still quite a lot. But lots of pros. As I said, for some people, this slim section is going to be exactly what they want. I don't mind it. I like the fact that it's quite light, and then when I hold it back, the balance is really good. I love this slate grey. It is just absolutely beautiful. It's got like a hint of the blues and teals sort of underneath it. It's really, really nice. And the satin finish of the anodization is absolutely perfect. I really like the Schmidt nib. It writes well, it writes consistently, reliably. I have no problem with Schmidt whatsoever. I really also like the precision engineering, as I showed, like even just that little, where they meet up there. It's lovely. It's just lovely. I really enjoy those kinds of things. And the other little detail I really like is these posting threads. Now, a lot of pens post on threads on the back of the pen, but most of them, the threads start right on the end. This has a little bit of extra length there, which is, I think, a decent aesthetic idea, but also what that does is it really helps guide the cap onto those threads, because you're not going directly sort of onto threads on the end. Your cap is already on there, and then you just turn. So I find it very satisfying to post this pen on those threads. It's really, really nice. So this was the Aspect fountain pen from Andhand. I think it's a great pen. I think it's a really good pen. It writes well. It's got a nice design. Lots of features that make this a really interesting option. So if you're not familiar with Andhand, I'll put their website down below. You can go and check it out. I really suggest you do. They have some really interesting things. And if you haven't watched my review of the Method fountain pen, I'll link to that in the video description as well. But yes, the Aspect from Andhand, very, very cool. A big thank you to Andhand for providing this and the Method fountain pen for me to review for you. I always love showing pens from brands that I haven't featured or that I'm not super familiar with. So getting to know these pens has been an absolute joy. Please like and subscribe, hit the notifications button, all that kind of stuff. If you've got a way you would like to support my channel, I would really love to hear from you. In the meantime, enjoy your pens, enjoy writing, and I'll talk to you soon.